But let's be very clear. The federal government is totally out of control, and freedoms that you thought you had are non-existent. And with 69 days until Election Day, 21 days until early voting begins in Pennsylvania, mail-in ballots going out even sooner than that in the next week or two, many Americans are asking themselves, who is in charge of this country? And how corrupt are big institutions in America, like big tech, like the media, state-run media mob, like our government? Joe Biden is on his second consecutive beach week vacation, nothing on his calendar. He's been mentally checked out for quite some time. Well, that would mean Vice President Harris, is she in charge? Do we know? Because she doesn't seem to know. She's been traveling around the country for weeks on end, pretending to be a challenger, all while vowing to fix the problems that she caused with Joe on day one. Day one, Kamala, was January 20th, 2021, not 2025. And now she's not giving many details at all. They don't have time for any more details. They're very stressed out. Now, there are no policy positions that are listed on her website. She has participated in 0 press conferences, 0 town halls, 0 interviews. But this coming Thursday, we got the big announcement after 7+ weeks. Kamala will finally sit down for her very first TV interview. Take a look at the conditions, though. This is going to be a pre-recorded interview on fake news CNN. Of course. Why didn't they just do Rachel Maddow, the conspiracy theorist and liar on MSDNC? And she's doing it with far-left Trump hater Dana Bash. Let's see if she can keep her fairness record going for two interviews in a row. Anyway, Vice President Walz will be present. He's there to offer moral support and bail Kamala out if she gets lost in one of her now famous never-ending platitudes about the passage of time. Time is passing, and we're all passing through time. If Kamala can't handle a single live interview by herself with a friendly CNN host, how's she going to handle President Xi, Vladimir Putin, or the mullahs in Iran, or any other adversarial world leader? It's pathetic. And Dana, let me give you all of your research right now. It's all on Hannity.com. They're called the Kamala Files, the Walz Files. This is Kamala and Walz in their own words. You don't have to do the research. We did it all for you. And you can fact check. It's not AI generated. Does she still want to ban fracking and drilling? Is she still bragging about Bidenomics? Does she still think inflation is transitory? Does she still want to decriminalize illegal immigration and offer free housing, health care, and education to illegals and make American taxpayers pay for it? And what does she say to the families of victims of Harris, Biden, unvetted illegals, you know, those that were murdered and raped and victims of other horrendous crimes in this country? Does she still support amnesty for illegals? Does she still refer to ICE as the KKK and want to defund them and defund and dismantle the police and reimagine them and implement no bail laws? How about, are you going to ask about her support for the rioters in the summer of 2020? You know, the summer of love. 574 riots and insurrections at once. Is she glad that she said they're not going to stop and they shouldn't stop? And tweeting out that bail fund? And what about Timmy, her running mate? He still want tampons in boys' bathrooms? Does he still want to eliminate all parental rights and offer gender-affirming care for kids without adults' permission, and legal driver's licenses and free college for illegals? These are important questions, and so far, she will only commit to a single debate. She tried hard to get out of it, even on left-wing ABC, after Donald Trump had already agreed to all the rules they themselves demanded. They requested them. And recently, Kamala tried to change the rules at the last minute, requesting that the mics remain hot throughout the debate. She wanted to manufacture another, I'm speaking. Do you know I'm speaking, which kind of went viral, if God forbid Donald Trump ever interrupted her during a debate. But today on Truth Social, Donald Trump has agreed to the debate with the same rules that they originally agreed to. Jason Miller from the Trump campaign said the Harris campaign wanted to have a seated debate. She wanted cheat sheets. She wanted notes in front of her and hot mics the whole time, the opposite of everything she agreed to. Now, keep in mind, ABC News is openly hostile to former President Donald Trump and most Republicans. For example, you might recall, here is ABC News reporter Rachel Scott with the very first question during Donald Trump's appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists. Take a look at this. Ask yourself, does this sound like journalism or a talk show host?
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question.
Trump wins the crowd over. Anyway, it gets worse. One of ABC News' top so-called journalists, a former Clinton hack. We'll be talking a lot about him in the days to come. His name is Georgi Stephanopoulos. Take a look.
We better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket.
Next, I know you don't believe that. The course of Trump's presidency will turn on his coming public showdown with James Comey. The big question, did President Trump try to block the FBI's Russia investigation, commit an impeachable offense? Good morning. Hope you had a good week. It was another one of those wild ones at the White House. How strange is it for you to sit here and compare the president to a mob boss? You write that President Trump is unethical, untethered to the truth. Is Donald Trump unfit to be president? It's all too easy to fall into reflexive habits, to treat this as a normal campaign, where both sides embrace the rule of law, where both sides are dedicated to a debate based on facts and the peaceful transfer of power. But that is not what's happening this election year. As you point out those statements from J.D. Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric as well.
Well, he claims to be a journalist. He's not. He is a liberal talk show host and a hack of one as well. Anyway, ABC is a cheerleader for the Harris campaign, and yet Kamala Harris is still scared to debate Donald Trump, trying to get her hardest to get out the last couple of days. It is not just her trouble speaking without a teleprompter and constant, nervous, bizarre giggling. Kamala Harris appears to be in the midst of an identity crisis since becoming the Democratic nominee. Almost all of her radical positions that she held so near and dear, have seemingly changed, or at least that's what anonymous aides say behind closed doors. We don't know because she won't give a press conference or talk to anybody. For example, in 2019, she called Trump's border wall a medieval vanity project and even mocked the possibility of terrorists coming across our southern border. Now, keep in mind, as you see this, as the 11 million plus unvetted Harris-Biden illegal immigrants have come into the country, so have hundreds with terror ties. We don't know where they are. Take a look.
This is a crisis of the president's own making to fulfill his quest to build a vanity project called the wall. This is irresponsible. It's the height of irresponsibility for the commander-in-chief to suggest that we have to build a wall across our southern border because there are terrorists who are trying to invade the country. It couldn't be farther from the truth.
On the subject of transnational gangs, let's be perfectly clear. The president's medieval vanity project is not going to stop them.
You know what the height of irresponsibility is? Letting people in from 180 countries unvetted, including Iran, Syria, Egypt, Afghanistan, Russia, China, and Venezuela, including people with known terror ties, and we have no idea where they are. Oh, people with terror ties. That is the height of irresponsibility. As the vice president and border czar, Kamala halted construction on the border wall, leaving huge gaps at our southern border. They told us for 3 years the border is closed and secure. It's not, never has been. All of a sudden, well, the campaign aides say Kamala now wants to build the wall. A vanity wall, I guess. And she even features Trump's border wall in her campaign ads, as we showed you last night. And that's not all. Remember when she wanted to eliminate immigration, in other words, and customs enforcement, better known as ICE, that she also compared to the KKK? You might recall.
A lot of the signs at the rally you just held were people standing there saying, abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
Listen, I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch, because there's a lot that is wrong with the way that it's conducting itself, and we need to deal with that.
Anonymous aides say she no longer believes that. It's not just the border. It's not just ICE. During her first presidential campaign, Kamala also promised to eliminate private insurance. Remember, Medicare for all. Government will take care of your health care. How's the post office working for you? Take a look.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care, and you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Forget the Freedom and Joy Party wants to take away, let's see, your money to pay for college, health care, housing for illegals. They want to take away your money and your ability and choice to have your own health care plan. They want to pay for a $93 trillion new Green Deal that she co-sponsored in the Senate, you know, and now she's saying she completely changed her mind. All right, just for the sake of the campaign, I'll let you keep your private health insurance. We hear the same message about the new Green Deal. She introduced both these bills in the Senate that she co-sponsored with Bernie Sanders, and her plan to ban fracking and offshore drilling. Never mind, it's a campaign year. I can't run on what I really believe. And her promise to reimagine public safety with fewer police and defund and dismantle no bail laws. The list of wild flipping, flopping, flailing goes on and on. But we don't really know where Kamala stands. Kamala won't say what she believes. We, have her on tape saying all of these things. We just get whispers. She might have changed her mind. Never mind. And that is a bad sign. It means her true beliefs are too radical for the general population, and her campaign knows it. And if the American people know it, that's why I created the Kamala Files, the Wall Files. You can take it for free. It's on Hannity.com. Send it to your friends, family. Put it out on social media, because the mob, state-run media, they're not going to run it. Michael Moore seems to agree. He wrote, Kamala will be the most progressive president in history. He's not wrong. He's about as far left as you can get. And tonight he's, quote, so hopeful. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, they're not moderates by any stretch. What they're selling is snake oil. They are lying. And if they win in November, our country is in deep trouble. Capitalism as we know it, that'll go away. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.